Within the world of assessing, we as qualified assessors have the power to make changes to our assessment methods in order to support our learners. Okay, a lot of learners do have particular individual needs that we can cater for within the assessment process, and we can adapt and make reasonable adjustments in order to promote a more inclusive and supportive assessment environment. Okay, and this is once again ourselves as an assessor being a supporter. Okay, but how do we do this first? In terms of particular learning needs, okay, my advice is to conduct a robust initial assessment, okay? So this is finding out about the learner's individual needs, their skill set, okay, and very much how confident they are going to be within the assessment process. How can we conduct initial assessments? Perhaps even something as informal as a one-to-one chat with your learner, okay, prior to the assessment is going to be best practice. Other examples of initial assessments could be application forms, interviews. It could be something quite informal, such as a discussion, is really going to help open up the learner and let them know that you are supportive and if there's anything that you can do to make a reasonable adjustment. In terms of reasonable adjustments, we can arrange for extra time during the assessment. If a learner does need perhaps a reader or a scribe, someone who's a supporter within an assessment, perhaps if they're writing assignments or an exam, okay, you can arrange for another person really just to help to monitor them during that an assessment method. My advice once again is to seek guidance from an IQA or manager and also the awarding body as well. So just be open and honest, just say that you do want to support a learner, but you're perhaps just not sure how best to do this, and they will have the advice for you to make the changes there. Other key factors, we have physical disabilities. Of course, if a learner has a particular need, then we can have equipment adaptation, we can make changes to resources, okay, and this is going to help the learner to be able to access the criteria, okay, and make those changes as well. So think about what resources you possess currently within your assessing role and how they could be adapted to cater for your learner. Also the environment as well, so accessibility in terms of the assessment location. So there could be lifts, wheelchair access as well to a building or a site where the assessment is taking place as well. So we might need to think about all of those things if we have a learner with a particular disability as well. So a forward-thinking approach there. Cultural or religious requirements as well. So if a learner does mention that they have sort of a cultural background or a religious requirement, that's absolutely fine. Perhaps we can work our assessment around prayer times, religious holidays or festivals. And once again, it's good practice just to have an initial assessment with the learner. So this can really help to really sort of arrange sort of key dates there. In terms of language requirements as well, so if a learner has perhaps English as a second language, we could perhaps arrange for an interpreter to assist them within their assessment. So once again, seek the help of an IQA or manager, also the awarding body, to see what support they can offer here. And of course, we can adapt resources, okay? So if there is perhaps assessment paperwork that you give to a learner which is in perhaps their language, if we can do that, fantastic. But once again, just seek advice on this with how to support a learner there. And finally, working patterns as well. In terms of working patterns, we just need to make sure that we are kind once again to our learners, and we are going to perhaps change the assessing date, the time, just to make it more accessible to them if perhaps they've worked on a night shift as well. So they are going to give the best account of themselves within their assessment as well. So we don't want to put them under any unnecessary stress. In terms of the textbook, to have a look at pages 51 to 59 here. And what we'd like for you to do is to explain how assessments can be adapted to meet the individual needs. And do feel free to include any examples from your current or future practice.